welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm going to introduce us. This is Maureen Amyot, our wonderful library director. This is Ed Baldwin. He's a trustee of the library, and he's also the chair of the library building committee. And I'm Jeanine Mindrum. I'm also a trustee. So I'm going to tell you what we're going to do today. I'm going to start off by giving you an update about upcoming events and at the library and services at the library, and hopefully get some ideas from you. And then Maureen has created a really fun library trivia game where you're going to learn cool new things about the library and prizes. And then Maureen and Ed are going to give an update on the library repair project, and you can ask your questions about the repair project at that time.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you how I got here today. In last March, when I was collecting signatures to get on the ballot during the election, I was standing outside of Roach Brothers in freezing cold weather, and two ladies were kind enough to take the time to stop and talk to me and stand in that cold and tell me what they wanted from the library trustees. And they told me that they want the trustees to come to the senior center on a regular basis and keep you updated about events at the library, programs at the library, and services, and updates on the repair project. And they told me that people here have a lot of great ideas and strong opinions, and that many people don't feel comfortable standing up and talking at town meeting, which I understand. And so they asked us to come, and so here we are.
Okay, great.
So I'm going to start off by telling you about some upcoming events at the library, and I have flyers for them. When I'm done here today, I'm going to give these flyers to Stephanie and Kristen at the senior center, and they're going to post them here so you can look at them. And then I'm also going to email them to them so they'll have digital copies of them. If you want to find them yourself, when you go to the library's webpage, on the top, on the right, it says events. If you click on that, you're going to get a calendar. And you go to the calendar and click on the event that you're interested in, and a whole page like this will show up, and it will give you information about the event, and then it'll tell you if you need to register and a link to register. So the first event that's coming up is Get to Know Your Feet.
Yeah, I'm gonna move my feet.
Get to know your feet, and
Right this way. I can move my chair.
you're good.
I don't need to disrupt everybody.
You're not disrupting
at
us,
all.
you're good. I like the title of this because I wasn't aware that I didn't know it. Just saying. But this is Tuesday, January 16th at 6:15, and it's Learn How to Decrease Foot Pain and Learn About Postural Alignment and Foot Issues. The next one is something I need every day, Tech Help. And there's one more of these on Saturday, January 27th from 10:30 to 12:30.
Okay.
So you can bring your phone, your laptop, your tablet, and some kind young person, logically young person, will help you with all the questions that you have every day. So, and you can see that you show up and you're really stressed out, and then you're like really happy zen when you leave. We have then one on the Underground Railroad, which I don't have a flyer for. That's by the Historical Society. That's on Monday, February 5th at 6:30. And that's Chris Allen, our local historian, who'll be presenting. And we think that one will be filmed.
That one probably will be filmed, and it's about the history of the Underground Railroad in New England. So it should be really interesting.
The next one I have is Intro to Beekeeping, which is Thursday, February 5th at 6:30. And Maureen can tell you about that.
I'm a beekeeper when I'm not at the library, so I'm going to do just an intro to beekeeping. So if you're interested, if you want to become a beekeeper, I can kind of give you some advice and talk about how you can get some further education.
The next one I also don't have a flyer for. It's the Creation of the State of Israel, and that's Tuesday, February 27th at 6:30. And that one is being led by two professors from Holy Cross.
That's good.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting. Well, do we know if that will be filmed?
We don't know.
We don't know. Okay. But we could request maybe? So think about requesting. And then I have 2 virtual events that are coming up. Hi, come on in. Hello.
How are you?
Good. Come on in.
Hi.
Come on in.
Got a nice spot for you now.
So we have 2 virtual events coming up, and I have a flyer for one of them, not for the other one. The first one is Culturally Curious Art Talks. That's Bending Toward Justice, African Americans as Subject and Creators of American Art. And that is Wednesday, February 21st at 7 o'clock. And I printed out the information from the webpage on that, so you've got the whole description of it, and you have the information about registering, because you have to register for this because it's virtual, and they have to email you the link so that you can connect up to it. And I don't have a flyer for the second virtual one, which is an evening with romance authors, and there's 3 authors. About 4 fingers, that's not good. 3 authors, and I won't give you the names of them, but I have to confess I've never read a romance novel before, and I probably wouldn't have paid much attention to this if I weren't coming here today. But reading the bios of these 3 authors, these are some very interesting people. So I signed up, but I'm going to just read a little brief piece about Denise Williams. She wrote her first book in the 2nd grade, I Hate You. And its sequel, I Still Hate You. It featured a tough, funny heroine, a quirky hero, witty banter, and a dragon. Minus the dragons, these are still the books she likes to write. So I think it might be fun. So I would love to hear if there are events that you've especially appreciated at the library that you'd like to see again, ones we could do better, ones you haven't seen that you'd like to see. Any thoughts?
You
Yes.
still do movies? We used to go to downstairs in the library. Usually they would have movies that they would play down there for you. Are you still doing that?
We haven't, I don't know if we've done one since COVID, but it might be time to bring those back.
No, you did.
Or did we?
What's her name?
Tracy
did.
The Crown.
Oh, okay.
And we were hoping, I don't think it's out just yet, the last season, but we were hoping that when it
Eventually when
does
it's
come
out.
out, that you might offer that.
Yeah, I'll let her know. Yeah,
She's really good with
she
it.
is great, isn't she?
Yeah, she is wonderful. Any other thoughts, requests?
I know one of the things that has been really popular in the past, you may have forgotten that we did it, was our repair cafe. This is a day that you could bring your broken items to the library. We had volunteer repairers on hand to give it a quick fix or tell you that it couldn't be fixed and then it's okay to throw it away. And we will be bringing that back. We're looking at April and November. So Tracy, our adult services librarian, is working on planning that as we speak. That's a partnership that we've done for a long time with the Rotary Club of Westboro, and the Rotarians are really a great support with helping us find volunteers and then staffing that day. So look for that, some information to be coming out about that soon, very soon.
Oh, yeah, we like many of the programs that you do. One of the ones you did was, I think it was on going around, it was like a Halloweenish kind of thing.
Oh, the scavenger hunt.
Yeah, going, and you ended up at cemeteries or different things, that was kind of cool. And then you had done an escape room thing, that was great. And I know with the escape room, it's very limited.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you were going to do it in the future to offer more slots.
Thank you. Okay, thank
We
you.
also did the thing Halloween one time, where we went in there and they had the whole thing spooky and stuff like
Yes,
that.
that's an annual event.
That's an annual.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
That's our haunted library.
And that's the high school kids who do that.
I know, they
right?
do a great job.
They do.
Yeah.
Except it's probably too scary for me. They said that if you get
You jump out at
scared,
you.
if you get scared, you can't go, so.
Can people speak louder, please?
Oh, sorry, yes, of course. You know, when my mother was dying, I used to call her every night and try to have a memory, a special conversation, and I said to her one night, remember how fun it was to go to the swimming pool? She said, oh, you were the loudest child there. I was like, well, it was fun. You know? So I'm good at loud.
Yeah, one of the things I requested a while back, it never came to fruition, but you get Golf Digest, I think is one of your magazines that you can read at the library. I said, you know, can you get Golf magazine? Oh, but actually, no, you get Golf magazine, but I wanted Golf Digest.
Okay.
Golf Digest, I think, is even a better magazine than Golf, for golfers and all that.
Yeah.
There's lessons and stuff in there. So if you might want to look into
Well,
that.
check and see if that one's
Golf Digest.
Golf Digest. Okay.
Okay. Any other programs that you'd like to see? So I'm wondering if there are barriers to attending library events. Are there things that make it difficult for people to attend? Like one thing I'm noticing is a lot of them are in the evening and it's dark. And I'm not crazy about driving in the dark anymore. Is that a barrier for people? I can't see it. Can you say if it's you think it's a barrier? Yeah, you see it as a barrier. So what could we do better? Are virtual events useful for you? If we have more virtual? Okay. And if we can film them, like some of them are always filmed, and then some of them maybe we could film if you thought that was useful and put them on the Westboro TV. Would that help?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Well, what was the library book sale? Then won the month. The library book sale.
The book sale?
So-
A book sale.
There's one coming up this weekend,
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday,
How often are they?
every month. Usually the second weekend of the month, and there's not usually a sale in December. During the cold weather, we do it inside in the library, in the downstairs meeting room. In the warmer months, we do it outside on the front lawn. So you've probably driven by and seen the book sale going on.
So it'll be inside.
It will be inside, yes.
Yeah. So one other thing, because the library is not yet ADA compliant, so during the campaign in March, I was saying, you know, one thing we could perhaps do is sometimes have library events here at the senior center too. And if we had them during the day, that would help with the nighttime thing. Would people like to have some library events here at the senior center too?
Yes.
I'm seeing a lot of nods, okay. Okay, cool. We'll work on that, okay. And then we share our information about events on social media. How many of you see our posts on social media? Okay, okay, yeah? So if you don't see them, how would it be best for us to get information about our events to you? Like today, I'm gonna give all these flyers to the senior center and they're gonna post them. And we've already made a deal with them that every month we're sending them our flyers and they'll get posted here. So will that be helpful?
And how else do you find out about things that are going on in town?
Sometimes through the community advocate. That's okay.
Westboro Connects, do you guys use that?
Yep.
Also
Okay.
the Westboro page on Facebook that Roberta runs.
Okay,
I look there all the time
okay,
because I can't get to Westboro TV.
okay. Now, many of the housing developments have newsletters. If we put our events in the newsletters, would that help you too? Like, yeah? Okay. And would it be, yes?
Tuesday, you have a program, and it's due to be snow. What's your policy? When do you cancel for snow or anything? And how do you post it?
It depends on, there's a lot of factors that come into play with that. And it just really depends on the presenter and what the timing of the storm. So when I get back today, I will talk to the staff who are running that one and see what the plan is. Usually we post it on our website, on the front door, and on all of our social media accounts. That's really those three ways are the fastest ways we can get information out. So if you're not sure, the easiest way is to go to our website and look there, because there will be information posted there for
So
sure.
you said you post on the front door.
On the,
What about the
and the side,
handicap
and the
door?
side door too, yeah, both doors.
So if, yes? Yes.
I wonder if you can start a conversation group. I know it takes a skillful facilitator to manage the group.
We actually just started, are you talking about the English conversation?
No.
Oh, no. Oh,
General.
just general conversation.
Not about language learning, just a place to chat, place to visit. Okay.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So
I think it's difficult to find someone that has the personality and the knowledge to run that group.
So we have to look for that. So we need to look for that person. Okay, we'll start looking.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great idea.
it is a good idea. So one last thing, would it also be helpful to have the hard copies of the flyers posted at the housing developments? Or is it the newsletter enough? Do you like hard copies too? Okay, so we can make sure that Sarah gets the hard copies out to places too. Okay. So then I just want to talk about services really quickly and then I'll be done. You see I gave you a handout with the museum passes and the library has a lot of great museum passes. And you can reserve them up to 5 weeks in advance. The handout I gave you gives all the information about how to do it. And so that's a wonderful resource.
If you don't use a computer or you're not comfortable doing it, you can always call and we can reserve it for you over the phone. The same with signing up for programs for any of these events. If you're not sure how to do it or it's easier to just call, we're happy to sign you up over the phone too. So don't forget that.
Okay. I included the meditation class under services, but it technically, if you look for it, it's under events. So that's my bad. But for me, it happens every week, and so in my mind, so it's on Zoom. It's at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8:15 on Tuesday nights. I've been attending it for several years now, and it's really wonderful. It's for people who have either no experience ever with meditation or people who have a lot of experience. 35 to 40 people attend it pretty regularly. Greg Topakian, the man who leads the group,
He's fabulous.
he's amazing. He's really wonderful.
That program initially started in the library.
Yes, and then the COVID, it
We've
went
been doing
online.
it since then.
Yeah.
We're part of that Zoom.
Yeah,
It's just
yes, I didn't recognize you, I'm sorry.
Bob and Betty, you see this?
Yes, Bob and Betty, okay, yes. Yes, yeah, it's really wonderful. And every Friday, he sends us an email with a little thing to think about and then a couple of articles, which,
I know.
we don't always read, but they're really good.
Same here.
But they're really good.
Question,
Yes,
because you kind of went quick.
I'm sorry.
Library passes, are they still free like they used to be?
Some of the passes
Like
give
the
you,
museum passes,
Yeah,
the
it's-
the zoo and stuff?
yeah, some
I don't
of,
know what they offer.
some of the passes give you a discounted admission and some are free. It depends on the museum and what they offer.
Okay.
So, and all of those, I don't know if you know, but the library has to pay to have those passes. So all of the funds for the passes come mostly from the Friends of the Library. There are a few groups, Civic Club, Rotary, Newcomers Club, that sponsor individual passes. The bulk of them come from the Friends of the Library. And the Friends make their money through the monthly book sales that we were just talking about. So if you ever donate books to the library for the book sale, that's, the museum passes are one of their biggest programs that they fund for us so that we can provide those passes for you.
So you
Yeah.
have the sale this weekend?
This weekend, Saturday and
Even
Sunday.
Tomorrow?
Yep.
Are you still accepting and do you accept any kind of books?
So we typically we always accept donated books. However, since there was no sale in December, we have been inundated because we've been collecting them now since November. So they stopped briefly, but as soon as the sale is over and some of the inventory clears out, they will be accepting again next
So
week.
do they accept like romance novels? I
Yeah,
have a friend
yeah.
that passes.
No, they'll
out
take-
8 bags of them.
Yeah, they'll take everything as long as it's not like encyclopedias or
Oh,
things
okay.
that have been wet or smelly
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah.
been sitting in the garage for
Yeah.
10 years in the
Love that.
basement.
Okay.
Like, yeah, anything that's in good condition that we can like resell that you would give to somebody else.
Okay.
We've availed ourselves of the museum passes ourselves, and one of the ones we stumbled upon, and we thought was really great, was the one the state police museum there. And we went there and we had a great time learning about the state police here in Massachusetts. And so that's worthwhile one to go see.
Yeah, the State Police Museum, and it's nearby. It's
Yeah, where is that?
It's in Whitensville?
Whitensville,
that's
right.
what it was.
I had no idea there was a.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fascinating.
You happen to know a state cop that lives around the corner. You think I ever heard of this? No.
That's okay.
It's really good.
Whitensville.
Whitensville, yeah.
I'd like,
Okay.
I'd like to ask why you didn't list the museums available on this handout.
Right there.
Oh, it's on this small one. Did you get one of these?
That's great.
Oh, I didn't see
yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
thought that was something else. Okay, well, thank you.
So you mentioned that the Friends of the Library purchased these passes from the museum. What happens if people are not using them? Have you purchased ahead of time, or do you only get charged when the museum tells you that some people have used those passes?
So for the majority of them, the way it works is we pay an annual fee, and that covers one pass per day for the library. So then you check it out like a book, and some of them you have to return, some of them it's a coupon, some of them it's a code, but they only allow one per day. So if they don't all if it doesn't get booked every single day of the year, we paid for it. So that's why we tell everybody we have these passes, because we want you to use them. So you do have to pay ahead. Others, we buy a certain number of passes that are not dated. And when we run out, we buy more. It just depends on the museum and how they handle it.
Thank you.
The last one is the home delivery. Oh, I'm sorry, go
I have
ahead.
one question. Have you found the best way to reach out to those that do not have access to computers? How do they find out about all your events and?
We hope that that's through the community advocate. We send all of our events to them. Sometimes it makes it into the paper, sometimes it doesn't. And we don't really have any control over that. And then we try and get our flyers like these out in the community anywhere that will let us put them up. And if there are other ways that we could reach out to people, we always want to know that. So if you don't use a computer, and that's why we were asking, how do you find out about things?
Do they go into churches? Because every church I've ever
That's a
been
good
has
idea.
a table.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
I know, yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that idea
And-
over here.
And now the library has a sign, I guess, that they're putting all the flyers in at Town Hall in the lobby. And it's two-sided, so you can see them from both sides, coming down the stairs and in the front door. We are going to try and get one of those for the senior center to put in the lobby so that our flyers will be really visible in a little sign there.
Good idea.
If people think that posting them physically like that, the housing developments, we can figure out with the housing developments how they would be able to post them. Churches is a great idea.
Thank you.
I've always intended to go to Roach Brothers, but I have not made it there. But, we could try.
I went there, I told you, I delivered papers for you.
Yeah.
I went to Roach Brothers and they were receptive. They took the flyers.
Yeah,
or
I bet they would.
Newsletter.
Yeah.
Newsletter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I
So
ask you a
might-
question on the stuff that is on that list?
Yeah.
What is the trustees of the reservations?
That's it's a nonprofit organization that manages a whole set of historic properties. So you can check out the pass and use it at any one of their properties. So historic home tours type places.
And trails.
Never been
a
up
lot
to
of
And trails, yeah, they do a lot of
There's that
trails.
mansion.
Ukraine's,
There's a
up by
mansion there.
Essex.
That's the trustee's property. And there's a lot of others.
Say the name of that again?
Cranes Beach.
Cranes
That's
Beach.
at Newburyport, that's not close, but they have some of them are
It's nice.
historic places and some of them are parks, and the parks are just beautiful. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
So does the reservation, whatever it's called, have a website we could go to and see what the list of things are?
Yes, they do. I don't know
Okay.
where it is offhand, but
Okay.
Yeah, because it just says trustees of the reservations.
Okay.
So I was like,
My sister lived in Essex, so I know that. Yeah, he's
Okay.
right.
I have one last question for you. The ladies at Roach Brothers told me that they want the trustees to come here on a regular basis. Would you like us to come back?
Yes.
Yes.
We're townies, and what I mean by that is we graduated in 1960. I did. She's way behind me. And her mother and I were friends. But seriously, and cops, I didn't know any of this. I knew you had passes, I didn't understand how they work, and I'm kind of glad to know about the state police. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that.
Okay, well, thank you. I think it's time to play a game.
All right.
All right.
So everyone had a piece of paper on your chair. We're gonna play a little trivia game. I brought a box of pens in case you need something to write with. And it's important to know, you're not gonna exchange papers and grade each other's papers. You're not gonna have to report out how many questions you got right or wrong. And however, if you get at least one question right, there will be prizes at the end.
So the bar is low.
That's a good thing.
And I'm pretty sure you'll get at least one correct. So what we're gonna do is test your knowledge of all things related to the library.
Put the hand down and.
So first question, everyone knows you need a library card to check out a book. Did you know how many books you can check out at one time with your Westboro Public Library card? And here are your choices. 5, 15, 50,
Thank you.
or 500.
At one time.
At one time. And this is a picture of our staff
I've played already, so
on National Read a Book Day. I think that was in the spring because we're all wearing short sleeves. And we all grabbed one of our favorite books. I'm here in the front.
Tracy's in the back.
This is Tracy in the back. You can't see her face, but mine was, one of my favorite books last year was Lessons in Chemistry.
Oh.
If any of you have read that one, oh, fantastic.
I had a ball at your, the bingo one you did with the kids.
Yeah,
That was great.
our bingo nights are fun.
To the library.
Come on over. So here's the, ready for the answer?
Yep.
The correct answer is 50. 50.
I can imagine going in.
Well, and 50, it also includes
Oh, gee.
music CDs, books on CD, video games, magazines,
Oh, I did. Oh,
puzzles. We do loan puzzles.
Oh, you do?
Chromebooks. So if you need to use a computer for a period of time, you can borrow a Chromebook and also a little device called a hotspot that will give you internet on that Chromebook. Audiobooks, and I don't know if you know Playaways, but that's a type of audiobook. It comes on a little player, and you just plug in your own headphones into the player, and you can listen to the book. Or you can plug it into your car if you have the right kind of audio jack, and you can listen to it in your car.
so that's why 50,
The last
because
time I
they have all
took books out,
those.
it was 15.
Yeah. Now it's 50. And
Yeah, but you're talking about books.
it does not include what you can check out electronically. So if you use an e-reader like a Kindle or the Kindle app on your phone, if you use the Libby app, you can check out a whole vast collection of books, audiobooks, and now magazines.
I love audio.
And here's the tip about magazines. Those of you who use a smartphone and use the Libby app, you connect through the Libby app to the library, and our CW Mars, our network, recently added magazines to the collection that you can read at any time. Like books online work just like books in the library. If somebody else has it checked out, you might have to wait. But magazines, there's no wait. They're instantly available. It's the same exact magazine that you would see in print. And you can have multiple magazines at once. So if you have a print subscription that you don't want anymore because you want to save trees, you don't want the print, you can get it on your Kindle and you can read it, same exact thing, for free with your library card. Next one. Most items in the library can be borrowed for 4 weeks and they automatically renew. What is the daily fine for returning items late? Is it 2 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents, or no cents? The daily fine, the late fee for returning your books late.
I think 2 cents was when they had horse and buggy.
There's a really funny old Seinfeld episode about Jerry Seinfeld losing a library book and the library police came to get him.
Oh, gosh.
We do not have that.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
You ready for this one? The library is fine-free. We went fine-free 2 years ago, so no cents. No cents if your book is late. We would like you to bring it back, but realizing fines are often a barrier, it makes people embarrassed to come back. And
Yeah, that's true.
and they would keep it, exactly, because they would be too ashamed to come back. And this is Tracy, our adult services librarian, so you can actually see her face in this one. Which of the following animals has not been a part of a program offered in the library? We have ducks, we have goats, snakes, bears, cats, and dogs.
No, she said that has been
That has
offered.
not.
Has not been offered.
Not, which animal has not been part of a program offered at the library?
This is a
You mean
trick
one-
question.
No.
The animal bear.
Having the animal at the library.
Oh, well, I hope it
Come
was
on,
either,
you gotta be fair.
well, in Florida, it wouldn't be the snake, it'll be the bear. Because they have
Bring a
everything
bear to the
now.
library.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
That's the truth.
It's the cat.
The cat!
Oh, the bear, that's right, you have to.
It's a fake bear.
Well, the bear is a little bit of a trick question.
Oh, that
That's the only
We
bear.
may have had
That's a stuffed
some
animal.
type of baby bear at one of our animal programs, but you see our snakes, kids got to meet and touch the snake.
Oh, a boy, yeah.
Ducks we do often with rubber ducks.
Yeah.
There's a duck hunt where Jen, our teen librarian, and our Bernadette, our children's librarian, hide the ducks around the library.
Oh.
You find one, you get a prize.
That's good.
In the middle is our very popular baby goat yoga. Some of you may have done that.
Oh my gosh.
And then Pat the bear, who's the mascot for a Facebook group, came to visit us, and he was photocopying his butt. He was very kind of rude. And then we did for many years a read with a therapy dog program for kids
Oh, yeah.
who were struggling readers.
That's
and
right.
this dog, Harbor Grace, was one of our
That's true. I never
therapy
thought
dogs.
about all boys. I'm sure you could have that. Sean used to wear one around his
The
neck.
children's room does have a couple of cats who've lived at the library for a very long time. So if you are my age or younger, you may remember seeing these cats at the library. And one of them went missing one time. So we had a whole campaign on our social media about trying to find it. And it found its way back. So they've been reunited.
Good.
That's why I didn't
I
think
don't
cats
remember
was one,
any.
because I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to go with the kids, but I don't remember.
So we also have a collection of non-traditional items that we call the Library of Things. Which of the items below can be borrowed by patrons?
What are they?
Oops, sorry. So we have a telescope, and below that, pickleball paddles. In the middle is a Wi-Fi hotspot. Below that is a pressure washer, bread machine, or I'm sorry, ice cream maker, and then below that, bread machine.
Oh, there you go.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh, good.
That was a trick question.
Another
You
one.
can borrow all of them and many more. There are many more things in there. This is Lisa, our circulation supervisor, and she's holding a ukulele. I brought a projector with me today just in case we needed it, and you can borrow one of those, a projector to hook up your computer to watch a movie big on the wall in your house or do a presentation. We have this is a bird watching kit, which I've checked out a few times. It has binoculars and a guidebook about birds. There's all sorts of things in the room of things. For this time of year, we loan snowshoes in all different sizes, and we also loan roof rakes. So if you ever need to borrow a roof rake, we have those too. By far, our most popular items have been our hotspots, Wi-Fi hotspots, because those you can borrow for up to 2 weeks. So if you're going away on vacation, you're not sure if you're gonna have access to the internet and you want access to the internet, you can take one. It also prevents you from having to use an open public Wi-Fi or the kind of inadequate, crappy hotel Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And you can usually connect up to 10 devices to one hotspot. So families love it because everybody in the car can connect their phone to the Wi-Fi hotspot, and then they're not paying for data. They're just using those hotspots. So those are definitely the most popular. Behind that, I would say the pressure washer, because we never see that from the time the weather gets warm until it gets cold. It gets checked out and then it comes back and it goes right back out again. They're super handy. Our team department has a very active teen volunteer group called WAVE. And WAVE is an acronym for Westboro Awesome Volunteer Experience. They run a lot of programs for other patrons. Which program is not run by WAVE? So we have Homework Helpers, Cookbook Club, Tech Help, and Haunted Library. And 2 of them Jeanine already mentioned, so we might be able to narrow it down. The answer is Cookbook Club. Cookbook Club is an amazing program offered at the library. It is not run by WAVE. And so Cookbook Club is a program for adults. Everyone makes a recipe from the same cookbook or the same genre of cookbook. So in the past they've done Italian or Mediterranean or cookies, and you could pick your own cookbook. Other times they've selected one specific cookbook. Everyone makes a dish from that cookbook or genre and brings it and talks about what they made, and everybody samples each other's creations. So lots of fun and delicious. Each June, the library takes part in a last day of school party. There are lots of delicious treats, but the library always provides popcorn, cotton candy, cupcakes, or carrots.
It would not be popular.
This is also a huge event. The last day of school, as soon as the kids get out, it's a half day. They walk downtown and they stop by the library and have a big party on the lawn. It's something we do with the rec department and youth and family services every year. It's a whole lot of fun. So we provide cotton candy. We love cotton candy as much as the kids do, so we do offer it at a lot of our events. And if you look in the middle, that's me. At one of our events, we did a summer reading program kickoff at one of the several of the apartment complexes, and it was very windy that day. And that's me trying to spin cotton candy. It was up my arms, it was in my hair.
Oh my gosh.
It was really fun.
It's not easy to do.
Where did I read
It's not,
about
but it's fun.
No, yeah, it is. Where do you, I saw that advertised and I don't know where, because I don't,
Cotton candy at the library?
that they were having this party at the
Yeah, you
library.
probably did. We advertised that everywhere because we really want the kids to come.
That was the only one I knew they had was a cotton candy.
How many items did we check out from the library in 2023.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, 50 a person, my God.
Oh,
There's no numbers.
there's no numbers, I'm sorry.
No,
Okay, so somebody guess.
Sorry, I grabbed the wrong copy. Give me your best guess.
5,000.
5,000?
Yeah.
Other guesses?
56,000.
50,000, 6,000,
I'll say 6,000.
10,000.
10,000?
I say 15,825.
What?
Okay, that's very specific.
60,000.
60,000. So our actual number of physical items, so the books, library of things, all the things we talked about before, was about 233,000. Yeah. So when people say nobody reads, nobody uses libraries anymore, I disagree.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah,
And
it is.
in 2023,
This is wrong. They're all wrong.
fiscal year 2022 was the first year that we recovered from the pandemic. We used 2019 as our benchmark to see how we're doing, because 20 and 21 with the pandemic and the library being closed, it really affected our numbers. But fiscal year 22, we surpassed 2019. So we were really happy about that. We were happy that everybody's coming back and using the library again. Also, again, Tracy and her little son Deacon, he came to work with her on Bring Your Child to Work Day. So he got to be a reference librarian for a little while. Which of these towns are you not able to use your library card? Your Westboro Public Library card. We have Hopkinton, Shrewsbury, Framingham, Grafton, or Worcester.
Yeah, they're all in the county. Well, Hopkins not. It's in the Middlesex.
And the answer is Framingham. Good job.
I should follow my
But you can use your Westboro Public Library card in any of the libraries that are part of the CW Mars network. And CW Mars, to give you the picture, goes basically from Southborough all the way west to the New York state line and pretty much top to bottom on the borders of Massachusetts. So that whole huge geographic area, you can walk in with your Westboro card and check out. If you went to Framingham, you would just have to get a card for the Minuteman Library Network, which you would be able to do because you live in Massachusetts. You can get a card at any one of the other, in one of the other networks. There are 8 or 9 they call them automated networks in the state, but CW Mars is by far the biggest. And it also means that if you want an item that we don't have, you can request it, or we can request it for you from another library in our network and get it within a couple days, or we can request outside of our network for you, and we do that frequently if there's something unusual that someone wants, and you can come and pick it up here in Westboro.
How were they distributed? Is it a truck that drives around? Or,
There is, yes.
library?
Yes, and the funding for that is paid for at the state level through an organization called the Massachusetts Library System. They provide the delivery service. So it's a delivery, and they have different routes in different geographic areas. They have 2 sorting hubs. One is in, I thought it was in the Uxbridge area. The other is over further in eastern Mass. And they deliver to the entire state, all the way out to Provincetown, everywhere.
Great.
The library has, as we talked about earlier, a very active and growing outreach department. Library activities take place at all of these except,
What's the first?
the first one says Whitney Place, sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
Whitney Place, Highlands, Westboro House of Pizza, or Arrive.
What's a ride?
What's a ride?
Arrive is what the big apartment complex next to
Used to be called
Walmart. They
Fountainhead.
used to be
Yes,
Fountainhead.
yes, no problem.
That's a ride?
That's called Arrive now.
Yeah.
They changed their name.
It's a fountainhead.
What was it? What's the yellow
Changed their
one?
name.
The yellow one says Whitney Place.
Whitney Place.
Oh,
That one I know.
Thanks.
Who's my house of pizza?
Pizza, yeah.
If you said House of Pizza, you were correct. And we also deliver regularly to the local schools, so teachers can request items through their school librarian, and we will bring those to the school. And many, many patrons who are unable to physically get to the library. And our home delivery, which we have flyers about,
Yes.
is, I always caution folks, it's not like, first of all, it's not like Domino's. You can't call us and we'll run it down in 30 minutes. It's also not like, I'm tired, I don't feel like going today. Like, can you bring me this book? It doesn't work that way. If you can't get to us because you have an injury, an illness, you're homebound, you have any kind of mobility issue, we are happy to bring the books to you. And Carrie Brown, who's in the middle, some of you may know. Carrie is also a townie, grew up here, she's wonderful. She does a lot of our delivery in our outreach. And the other pictures are from Arrive and I believe Windsor Ridge. But those are some of our kids that we see at the apartments when we go out. So lots of fun.
Wow. Amazing what they do.
Breakout books are some of the most popular books in our library. They're more likely to be available to patrons. And breakout books are ones you cannot place a hold on. It's kind of, they're high demand books we buy some extra copies of, and when you walk in, you might be surprised to see that the book you want, Lessons in Chemistry, is right there on the shelf, and you can grab it and then you don't have to wait. So which of the following books is not currently a breakout book?
Could be.
So we have Lessons in Chemistry, Remarkably Bright Creatures, Demon Copperhead, and Oliver Twist. And the answer is Oliver Twist. Well, and Charles Dickens was very popular in his day. Maybe back then he would have been a breakout book, but they're no longer in such high demand. And he's still fun to read. And I also want to say one of my other favorite books from this year, and the reason I put it on this slide is this one, Remarkably Bright Creatures. Best ending to a book I've read in a long, long time. It was fantastic. So if you want a really good read, and something very different than anything else I had read in a long time. That's all I'm going to say. It's mysterious. Library has an open house every year to showcase all that we offer to patrons. This event takes place in what month? The yellow one says June. Sorry about the yellow. August, September, or October. That's a big event. Usually we have live music, pizza, there's some type of scavenger hunt we give you around the building because we want you to check off different things so you can see different things that are going on. We have giveaways, we have costume characters for the kids, photo ops.
And this year, I love the magicians.
Yes,
I love
we
that
had a magician at the one
Oh, he was fabulous.
in September. And it's always on the second Friday of September, so it's the Friday after Labor Day. And these are some pictures from previous years. We had Mario, and this little boy came dressed up as Mario. It was adorable. And this is our staff serving pizza.
I'm sorry, when did you say you had that?
September, the Friday after Labor Day.
Oh, right, okay.
Because Labor Day is Monday, so that Friday is our,
I can see it all going.
yeah.
Okay.
And this year our theme was Love Your Library. We had live music from the Hip Swayers. pizza and cookies, henna, face paint, magic show, and we did a Q&A with our architect about the library repair project. So
I
really fun night.
every year, but I
Yes,
didn't
she cheats.
No, I didn't cheat because I didn't like that.
I know it. We
I
know.
could hear the music, but I never knew where it was coming
Yeah, it's
from.
coming from us, sorry.
Don't be sorry, we're gonna make sure we
This
go.
year we had the music inside because weather.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it's outside, sometimes it's in. Patrons wishing to read an ebook or listen to an e-audiobook need to download a free app. This app is called, yellow one says Marion, Bookie, Libby, or Dewey. And I might have mentioned that one before also.
Yeah, I know that. I know it. I wasn't there. Unfortunately.
It's Libby.
It's Libby, I can see that, not bad.
And, yes, you can download it on your phone or on a Kindle or an iPad or any kind of tablet. That's how I read my ebooks
That's
too.
how I do.
What else would it be? But Libby, please.
Well, Marion I thought was clever, like Marion the
is good,
librarian,
but that's
and
not-
Dewey, Dewey
Mary
Decimal.
Emily. Mary Emily, I'm awful happy to hear that name.
So if you love to watch movies and TV shows, you can borrow DVDs. We still carry DVDs. Or you can use your library card to download items from which e-resource for movies. We have, the yellow one says Canopy,
Okay.
blue one is Duolingo, Ancestry, or Fantastic Fiction. So Canopy, Duolingo, Ancestry, or Fantastic Fiction. And the answer is
That's a-
Canopy. And we do have all of those other resources as well. But Canopy is great, especially if you like British TV. I'm not personally a fan, but they have a ton of British TV shows on Canopy.
Basically, anybody could have got that.
Yeah.
What?
She said
So-
all of those.
Oh, yeah.
When the weather's nice, we make use of the front lawn for our programs. Which of the following programs does not take place on the front lawn?
What is yellow?
The yellow one says Song on the Lawn.
Oh, okay.
Last day of school celebration, cyanotype printing, open mic night, or kindness rock garden.
What does it not?
What does not take place on the front
And
lawn?
what's the first one? Song in the Lawn?
Song on the Lawn is the first one in yellow. I'm so sorry, got the yellow background. Cyanotype printing.
I don't know what that is.
That's the name.
This one was a little hard, but it is open mic nights. We've hosted open mic nights before for music and for poetry, but usually not on the front lawn. Cyanotype printing, and I couldn't explain it to you, or I would have given it away, is when you take special type of paper and you lay natural objects on it or anything, and then you expose it to sunlight, and it makes a print of the item that you put on the paper. We offered that as an adult
You
craft
did have
last
something
year.
that was playing the guitar on the front lawn.
Yeah.
Singing Johnny Cash.
Yep.
and all that.
Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't know that was open mic, but.
No, that was not. That one was not.
I know.
That was just a performer.
It was
Yeah.
just a blue one, right?
So we love to celebrate holidays. Which of these holiday celebrations is run by teen volunteers?
Oh, okay.
Might have given this away earlier too. Blind date with a book, haunted library, visit with Mrs. Claus, or New Year's Eve. And that one was easy. Haunted library.
Great.
Oh, wow.
And this is our teen volunteer group from a previous year at the end. They often help out with all of our programs. You'll always see teen volunteers, even helping work as cashiers at the book sale, setting up, tearing down. They're really wonderful. But the teens completely plan and run our haunted library. They come up with the theme, the storyline. They're the actors. They do the decorating. They stay and help with the cleanup. They're fantastic. And I think I forgot to mention, we have about 54 teens in our WAVE group, which is unheard of in similar library groups like that. The library is a great source of information about the town and the history of the town. We have an entire collection devoted to the history of Westboro. And so where can this be found in the library? Yellow says local history room. Blue is the Westboro Center for History and Culture, Westboro Historical Society, or the Westboro Historic Commission. So the yellow one, if you can't read it, is local history room.
Okay.
So where in the library can you find the information about the town?
The others.
I always think Chris Allen, Historical Society.
If you said local history room, you can say you got it correct.
Okay.
A few years ago, we rebranded our local history room to be the Westboro Center for History and Culture.
Oh,
Our-
that's what I was just asking.
Our local history librarian, Anthony Vaver, really wanted to make, and this is what it looks like, what the space looks like.
Yeah.
You can see that it says it on the window now. He really wanted it to be a place that was inclusive of all of the cultures of Westboro, and to make it very apparent, even by the name of the space, that we are collecting the history of everyone who lives in Westboro. And so he has been proactively collecting all kinds of artifacts and information about the different groups that now live in Westboro. So that, and what we always say is the events and the items of today are the history of tomorrow. So someday people can look back at this time period in history and see what the whole picture of Westboro was like.
They usually shut it off before they...
What year did the library open?
Oh, boy.
Yellow is 1906, 1910, 1908, 1912. 1906, 1910, 1908, or 1912. 1908.
My mother was born.
And the interesting tip, well, a couple things. There's been a library in Westboro since 1777. It moved around. It was, the very brief history is it started out as just a group of people who pooled their money and bought books together. And it moved from home to home as the collection got larger. Brett Parkman had a store in Westboro. If you remember your Westboro history, the library was in the back of Brett Parkman's store. And then eventually it went to Town Hall. And when it outgrew the old Town Hall, someone
I love that.
sold the lot on the corner of Parkman and West Main to the town, and the library was built. So if you look up, right up here at the top, you can't see it in this picture at all, but when you go to the library or past it next time, if you look up, it says 19, and then over on the other side it says 08, and in the middle it says public library. So it's kind of cool for me as someone who's worked in libraries all over the country. In Texas, where I was before I came to Massachusetts, we had a huge celebration when our library turned 10. And then I came here and I was working and I was visiting libraries that are well over 100 years old that were celebrating centennials. And I think it's really special that since 1908, if you went to the library in Westboro, you went to 55 West Main. I think that's really special.
True.
We've recently started featuring local artists at the library. Where can you find their fabulous works of art? In the teen zone, in the meeting room, on the main floor, or way upstairs on the 3rd floor. The answer is the art wall is located on the main floor near the computers. So when you come through that big doorway into where the adult materials are, it's the wall to your right. And these are some examples of some recent art shows that we've had. We switch those out every month or two. Oh boy, you can all cheat on this one. We have many discount coupons and passes for library patrons. Which of the following ones can be visited using a library pass? New England Aquarium, Boston Children's Museum, Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, Boston Museum of Fine Arts, or all of the above? That one, all of the above. In addition, we have, as you see from your handouts, many, many other great places. My other favorite one is also on here, the Mass Parks Pass, that gives you free parking at any Massachusetts state park. I've used that one myself many times.
Oh my gosh, another.
We have been blessed to have a super custodian who does so much more than cleaning bathrooms and taking care of the trash. We sometimes like to say he's the mayor. What is his name? Your choices are Norm, Cliff, Sam, or Woody.
Wow.
And do you remember what show all of these people were from?
Yeah.
And the answer is Cliff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All right. So who knew? Who knew all of this cool stuff about the library? We know, and now you do too.
Now I do.
And this is the picture of our staff, Guido. This is what I was saying to you earlier. This was our staff on our staff development day, and it was one of the rare times where we had the whole library staff together. It was almost a year ago now. It was last February. The only people we were missing were our teenage shelvers who were in school that morning, but this was our whole staff. And they are such a talented, wonderful, amazing group of people. And if you haven't been to the library lately or in a long time, please come and see us. Any one of these friendly faces would be delighted to help you with whatever you would like. So,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Something I don't have particularly a presentation in mind. I'm just here to answer questions, but I can talk a little bit if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so as you probably all know, the end of last 2022, we put the big renovation proposal to the town, and there was a big vote, and we lost. So we learned from that and have come back to say not a major renovation, but just a very limited repair to keep the library, to maintain the building, do some minor program changes that will be the ones that are most needed, and I said just keep the library working, basically. And we've been working on that for a year now, since last January. We have 3 stages. The first stage is what we're in now, is called schematic design, where we really work with the town and with the architect to figure out exactly what we want the library to be based on this project. Then the next stage, the next stage starts in March, hopefully.
Would.
There you go. But, so the town voted to fund that schematic design phase in last March's town meeting. This March's town meeting will be coming back asking the town to vote for the detailed design. So the schematic design is sketches and figuring out what all the rooms are going to be. The detailed design will be the actual construction designs. They'll go out for bid, and construction companies will build on that. So that's a separate chunk of funding. We'll be coming back to town in March to vote on that, and hopefully they will vote yes. And then, assuming we do that after the design is done, which will take another year, we'll vote again for the construction in March 2025. And if that goes, we'll actually start doing the renovations. So our goal has really been to do what makes sense economically, but also gets the library going. So we're doing a lot of surface refinishing, repairing the walls. The big things, we're making it fully Americans with Disabilities Act compliant. It's, we have ramps, we have doors, but it's not 100% there right now because it was done in 1980. We're repairing the roof, which is now, let's see, 43 years old, I believe, part of it. Well, the old part is 115 years old, and the new part is about 40 years old. Probably doing some work on the heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and doing a lot of painting and refinishing and so on. So that's a very quick summary. There's a lot of information on the website. We have meetings every month or so. The next one will be Tuesday, and hopefully we'll get some good cost information at that point. But what we've been doing up to now is deciding what we want to do and getting at least a rough estimate of how much it costs that we can bring back to the town meeting. And that's, as I said, a very, very short summary. Maureen, you want to add anything?
I think that kind of touched on the highlights.
This is definitely a highlight summary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a number? Or range?
We have a very rough number at this point. The schematic design, let me take a step back. For the schematic design, we asked the architect to sort of design and come up with 4 options. One is really the basic repairs, and then one is, it ranges up to a pretty thorough major renovation. And they did very preliminary estimates for those, which ranged from about 11 million for the least expensive, for the basic one, and about 30 odd million for the most expensive. So and when I say we, I mean the library building committee reviewed all those and decided to go with the least expensive option plus a few add-ons that just made sense. Like the least expensive option was really, we were doing Band-Aid fixes on the roof. That 40-year-old roof, it has a lifetime of 25 years and it's starting to leak. So instead of fixing that again, we're going to replace the whole thing. We're looking very closely right now about what makes the most sense to do with the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. As you know, we have the main system is about 10 years old, but there's parts of it that are, who knows, certainly 40 years old. And so we'll be replacing that selectively, and we need to look and see what makes the most sense. And there's a lot of, the building codes have changed in 40 years. And if we do much work on the building, then you have to comply with those building codes. We're going to be doing that much work. So there's a lot of, I really think, under the hood changes that we have to do that, and that's driving a fair chunk of the dollars. But with all that said, it's going to be more than that $10 million minimum, but less than I'd say, I'm going to take a number higher than I think it's going to be. Less than about 18, somewhere in there. At this moment, I hope the architects are frantically working to get a detailed cost estimate, because they promised to it today, right? Or is it Monday? Anyway.
I think today or Monday to the committee, and then it'll be presented, they'll be presenting it to the building committee on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. So they better have it ready pretty soon.
Yeah.
And then I'll have a number that we will be hanging our hat on for town meeting.
Good, thank you.
And I strongly recommend attending those meetings. 3:30 on a Tuesday
On Zoom.
on Zoom.
Yeah.
They're really, really interesting meetings, and they're filmed, so you can watch it, if you can't watch it on Tuesday, watch it on the website, because those people are working really hard, and it's really interesting to see them discuss figuring out the HVAC one. They spent an entire meeting on the HVAC because it's so expensive to replace, and there's some pieces that absolutely have to be replaced, figuring out which pieces of that system they could not replace to save the town money. It was an impressive meeting, and I really think you'd like having that information.
Our friends at Westboro TV are awesome about posting the recordings of those meetings. So if you would like to see any of the past ones, you want to see any of the upcoming ones, you can see those after the meeting on Westboro TV if you can't make it
In
live.
the old days, you used to have you used to be able to go, I remember we would donate over to the library any of the meetings or anything, so somebody that doesn't have cable or anything else could get one. You still do that? Can you still go in and get a copy of some meeting that took place, or some event even?
Like a DVD, do you mean?
Yeah.
We don't have those at the library, but that's something that Westboro TV, I think, can provide.
But they're all on the
We can
internet,
make
and if
copies
you have an
on-
internet connection, it's
Yeah,
fine.
forget that. I gave that up
Yeah.
as a job.
We can do
Retired
copies on
meant
request, so
something back in
if you
those
come
days.
visit us, we can, if we have it on file.
So,
Come visit them and they have one.
yeah, they have it on file, and they can do copies
Oh,
on
there he-
request.
Right.
Thanks.
And
I remember the
Jeanine said
days.
that the meetings are really interesting, and I will say, my daughter came to one once, and she said, well, it wasn't as boring as I expected. So you know, there's a spectrum there depending on how much you care.
That would be interesting.
There's a lot of information on the library website now, and we can show you where the links are if people want to dig in more. So that's where it is.
If you, does anybody else have questions? Anything you would like to know about the project or the library? Yeah.
Yeah, you do in the library alone?
We do interlibrary loan, yes.
Does it go nationwide?
We can go nationwide if we need to, yeah.
I didn't want to,
If we can't find an item that you're looking for in Massachusetts, we can request it from a whole network of libraries across the country.
No. What, did they go to Alaska or Hawaii?
I don't know if we've ever gotten one that far. We try and get them closer if we can, but if we had to, we would, yeah.
You go to California if need be?
California, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something up his sleeve. If you ever need any questions answered about Celtics, or call him.
Good to know.
You have no more information than he does.
Gotcha. Yeah.
What is the Westboro Library doing about those who would censor what we read? Could you give us a policy statement on that? Those who would like to ban books and not allow us to read what we want?
Sure. So we have,
Those in our community who would like to do so.
yes. So we have a collection development policy which explains how we select materials for our shelves. And we follow that when we're selecting materials. So if someone objects to something in the collection, usually the process starts with a form. They either find the form online, or they come in and tell us they don't like this book, they don't think it should be in the library, and we give them a form. Once they submit the form, which asks them some questions, you can see it online. Have you read the entire work? To what in the work do you object? What would you like us to do with this? Do you see any merit? Have you read any reviews about it? Some few simple questions like that. That comes back to me. Then I reach out to them to set up a meeting so that we can discuss what their concerns are. And if they're not satisfied with the outcome of that discussion, it goes to the next step, which is I've usually read the book before I meet with the person, but I would read the book, and the librarian who is responsible for selecting books in that department would also read the entire book, and then we would write our recommendation of what should be done with that item, and send that to the person who submitted the form, and then it's discussed at a library trustees meeting. And the library trustees will discuss and consider, they'll read my recommendation and the other librarian's recommendation, and then they will make a decision on whether to keep it or remove it or do something else with it, and their decision is final. There's the elected board that sets policy for the library, and that is under their purview. So if they say it stays, then that's the end. It stays, and that's the end of it. If they say it goes, and that's the end of it.
And how would one see a list of the books that have been removed? Have there been any decisions on books that have not been allowed in the Westboro Library, and how could a patron know what they might be?
They can ask me. I can tell them to.
Well, has there been any books that you've agreed not to have in the Westboro Library?
No. And in my time as the library director, I've been here 13 years. We've only had, we call it a challenge, to 2 books. One book we had multiple challenges too, which was a children's book called We Need to Talk About Vaginas. That's a book about puberty and human development. And the other book was All Boys Aren't Blue, which is a young adult novel. And both, the only one that made it through the process to be discussed at the trustee level was the first book. And that it was decided to retain that in the library collection. The other person who submitted the form for All Boys Aren't Blue, after multiple attempts to set up a meeting, the person did not ever respond beyond sending in the form. So I had read the book and I was prepared to have a meeting and go through the whole process, but the person never responded to multiple requests for a meeting. So that ended that process. So they're the only two.
So neither one got banned?
No.
No, I didn't. Just my 2 cents on that. So I was at the trustee meeting where we discussed that first book, and so were about 30 Westboro residents. And out of those 30, I think 28 were in favor of keeping it. And I was really happy with that community support. So.
Was there any, would that book go into the young children's library?
It was in the children's collection, and it was staying in the children's collection, yes. It was written for children about, the reviews were, some said it was like 10 and up, and some said 12 and up. So it is a book that was aimed at the older end of our children's room. It's not a book you would read to your like 4-year-old necessarily.
That's what I would.
Yeah, some people might, but
would it be available to a 4-year-old?
it would be available to anybody who wanted to check it out. We don't stop anybody from checking out anything. It's really up to the parent of a 4-year-old to decide what they're going to check out. And just as it is with a parent of a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old or a teenager, for that matter. If they're concerned about what their child is reading, they should have that discussion with their child and accompany them to the library if they want to make sure what they're checking out.
Some kids that age that don't have anyone to ask those questions.
Correct.
To know about it, so it's good to have that book in the library.
Yes.
But a child could go to the bookshelf where that book is and pull it out to take a look
That's what
at
I'm
it.
Yes.
saying, it used to be in the schools.
And for peace of mind, for that book, I also went to the children's department when the form came in to look and see where it was located. And just where it naturally fell in the cataloging of that book, it was about up here. So it's not something that a child this big could pull off the shelf. The person who was complaining because it was on display and her little child picked it up.
Curious.
And it was just where it ended up on a display. So, but where it normally is shelved and where it is now, because it's no longer a new book, it's kind of eye level with the right age kids.
Okay.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna have to leave. Thank you all for coming. If you have any questions about the building committee, my email is on the website, or you can come to a meeting or whatever. Please get in touch.
And you have office hours.
Oh, that's true. After every building committee meeting, the Monday after, I have a Zoom office hours. Anybody who wants to come can hop on and comment. The link to that is also on the website and in our agendas and so on.
I'm happy to answer other questions if you have other questions. If you're shy and didn't want to ask in front of the group, I'll be here for a little while, and as will Jeanine, so.
Nice job.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.